Hey, it's Carl Ponto from Squash and Stretch Productions here. So last week on Thursday, I was up in Sacramento for a brand new kind of startup conference called GFX. It's like half day from like 1 to 7. Never heard of it before, but it was a really great event. I had no idea Sacramento had such a blossoming startup scene. It's really cool. I'm really looking forward to staying in touch with a lot of people I met there. But there was one group I met that really stood out to me because there's a bunch of kind of booths in the venue, and one of the companies there is one called Hygenius, Hygenius, and they're all about helping physicians and medical staff make sure they properly sanitize their hands, so that because there's a big problem with basically doctors passing on diseases between patients and stuff like that. Um, and so their technology is really cool. It's basically this little wheeled stand that has a downward facing camera, and you when you put like the soap on your hands and you're washing them underneath this thing, you can see basically where the soap's getting, and also it times how long you've been washing because they want people to wash for like 40 seconds. And so I was talking with the founder, Sam, one of the founders, and it was such an interesting kind of niche device, niche problem. And so I figured there'd be a good story behind it. And so I asked him what inspired him to start his company. And oh my gosh, his story was so powerful. Um, Basically, his grandpa was in the hospital for a fairly routine procedure, but unfortunately, he and an entire ward worth of patients were all killed by the same infection caused by someone not washing their hands, who was working that night, that afternoon. So a whole ward of people died in a way that's completely preventable if someone had just washed their hands more effectively, which blows my mind. That I mean, I understand medical personnel have to wash their hands a lot, but you think that that'd be something that's kind of so basic that they'd have it down well. But apparently, as he was telling me, only a very frighteningly small percentage of people are washing their hands properly in that field, and especially with how many kind of diseases are out there, especially like the getting more and more resistant to antibiotics. It's a big problem. So I was really moved by his story, and even it being like 5 days or so since the event, that's one that really stands out to me because that's such a powerful, emotionally compelling story compared to. I mean, a lot of great other businesses at the event, and I've definitely been enjoying following up with them and getting to know them better. But that was one because their story was so powerful, it really stuck with me, and I'm excited to connect Sam and his company with some people in my network to hopefully get them some funding they're looking for, and really want to look forward to supporting them going forward. But it just shows how powerful even a short version of his story is really compelling because it just carries so much more weight than just like I don't remember exactly the stats he shared with me about how many physicians or medical personnel aren't washing their hands properly. I don't remember that exact figure. I know it was low, but I can't remember the number. But oh my gosh, I can remember the story really well. So I think that interaction from the entire event really stands out to me because of that powerful story. So the takeaway is if you're out there trying to connect with people and have an impact on them and try and either get their support or basically form any sort of relationship with people as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, then having that powerful why story is absolutely essential because days later, weeks later, people will not remember the facts or figures that you told them, but they will remember how your story made them feel. And Sam's story is incredibly powerful, and so I think it's just something I wanted to share with everyone else. I think that sort of lesson is something that as startups that get so focused on their product and the go-to-market strategy and all the things besides their brand story, besides why they do what they do, and leaving that out, not focusing on that earlier on in the process is going to be a huge handicap for you to overcome later on, where if you get that brand story figured out earlier, to get that why story figured out earlier, it's only going to make everything else you do easier whether it's fundraising or getting initial first adoption clients, bringing on other team members, all sorts of things will be made easier if you have a powerful why story, a powerful brand story. So that was a big takeaway from GFX. I'm looking forward to the next one next year and getting to know more people in the Sacramento startup scene. If you have any questions about how to build a stronger brand story for your startup or for your small business, feel free to check out the links below or send me an email, karl@squashandstretch.net. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks.